It's Trends O'Clock. This is Trends KE with KK Cedric.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. This is Trends KE coming to you live all the way from Nairobi in Kenya, 254. It's another good evening, Thursday for our every Thursday show, Trends KE. And here we are, ready to get into some heated discussion here, as always, when we get to our politics discussion. And tonight we shall be having a conversation here with these two amazing gentlemen. Muthiora Kariara will be joining us. He's a TGN party leader and also a presidential aspirant. We also have an MP aspirant, Moses Tisa. He will also be joining us for this discussion we are having on political realignments and generally politics. So don't go away. We shall be getting into that discussion just in a few. So tell us where you're watching us from in the comment section at the Alternative Voice, and send your comments and questions as we get into our trending topics of the week. So let's talk about what has been trending for the week. So this week, just a lot has been happening kule kwa streets za social media, and you can also tell us what you know of what has been trending. But let me remind you, so the curfew was put off, and some people are not actually very happy with that happening, because they are saying the president has taken away their husbands. Let's listen to this lady here and this.
Wamama mabwana walikuwa naingia saa 3 kwa nyumba. Sasa unataka tushare na mabwana tena wanakengine. Uhuru, tafadhali rudisha curfew. Rudisha curfew. Sasa bwana, tunashare wanaume, hiyo ni makosa. Hivyo. Tumepata mimba kwa hii mwaka 1.5. Watoto mvua inanyesha. Sasa mabwana yote ametukimbia leo usiku. Hakuna bana kwa nyumba. Uhuru, rudisha curfew. Uhuru, rudisha curfew. Please, tunakuomba rudisha curfew. Uhuru, rudisha curfew, tuweze share wanaume. Rudisha.
While all of you are saying that the curfew should end, some women are complaining. They are saying the president should lock the country back because their husbands are now leaving home and going elsewhere. So while that was happening, people crying about curfew, something else happened. So the member of parliament for Kapseret, Oscar Sudi, kuna visanga zilifanyika during the week. Certificate yake ikakuwa, wakasema it's not valid. Then there was another statement that the guy did a diploma before the certificate. Okay, so it depends, maybe, yeah. But even if you are a genius, you go get a degree and then get back to high school. I don't know how that works. Maybe it does. So let's have these reactions that we heard from Kenyans on Twitter about that story to do with this MP Sudi.
A candidate by the name Oscar Kipchumba Sudi did not appear in the year 2006 led database for either Parkland Secondary School.
How can you explain that? Someone has a degree before a certificate, a diploma before a certificate. It happens, but only in Kenya. And while that was happening also, something else happened. Let me tell you about Miguna, the man with the same name twice. So Miguna was on an interview last night on KTN News, and he was literally bullying the guy who was doing the interview. I mean, that is just another, not even comedy. You know, with that wall you will say, but it's comedy. But with Miguna, something else. Let's have a listen.
Today I'm not discussing William Ruto. Today I'm not discussing Wetangula. Today I'm not discussing anybody else. I'm discussing Miguna,
I think
Dr. William Odinga,
yes,
and the My friend, you invited me to come here to talk about specific
And I'm going to
issues.
talk about it. We still have 40 minutes on the clock, Miguna. Why are you running away?
No.
We're going to talk about it.
I'm not talking about Ruto. I'm not talking about Ruto. You want to divert my
All right,
attention.
you're not going to talk about
You
Ruto.
can talk about Ruto all you want, but I'm not going to be diverted to Ruto.
I think you are running away from that obvious question, but it was a
I
build
am
up to
not
the next
running
question I was
away.
going to ask.
Listen to me.
You
Listen
are
to
running
me.
away, Miguna.
Ken.
You're running away from the rule of law because what
Ken,
essentially
listen.
President Uhuru Kenyatta.
My friend, who is the head of government in Kenya?
He said the
Is
government
this not
of-
childish?
He said the government
It's
of
childish
Kenya.
to ask me. It's rather childish to ask me, who is the president of Kenya? Who is the head of government? Who is the head of state? Who is the commander-in-chief? Who ordered the people to break into my house? It's Despot Uhuru Kenyatta. What is so difficult there?
And Kenyan politics is mad with the love-hate relationships, and you don't know whether this person loving you today, the following day will be hating you. And some people get married more than twice, more than 3 times in the same period of time. So I want you to see the reaction as well that Kenyans on Twitter had when Waiguru formally decided to divorce with Jubilee and join UDA. Let's have a look at this clip here.
But surely, if a hairdresser registers 20 companies, gets contracts, is paid millions, the millions, admittedly, she says she carried millions in bags and sacks like potatoes. And then you want to tell us stories. Oh, you know, this is... Please, give us a break, my friends. You know, Kiingereza mingi, mnafanyia catwalk.
Kiingereza mingi na catwalk, and they are finally married again. That is Waiguru joining UDA, and so many other things have been happening around, including Manchester United happened, and I don't think I'll be talking much about that. But did you hear about Baba Gloria? So Baba Gloria is this guy who decided to send some disturbing nude of a sticker kwa group ya WhatsApp ya watu ambao wanaomboleza. I don't know how Kenyans just picked up that thing very fast. Like, there is so much going on, very many important things to talk about, but the guy who sent a nude sticker in a WhatsApp group of a funeral was trending all through. And there are very many things that you could have talked about. People are not talking about this great guy here, Humphrey Kayange, who was inducted into the World Rugby Hall of Fame. They were not talking about that. People were not talking about Sudan coup. They talked about it for a while, but then it subsided very fast. And people are not talking about Moi University getting closed. They talked about it, but just for a short while. I mean, there was just a lot to talk about, but people decided to talk about this Baba Gloria, who sent a nude sticker kwa group ya watu wa matanga, but he was called na akajaribu kujitetea. So let's have a listen to this clip here.
Asikishindwa asiki bwana, we namna gani? Tutapiga mpaka ashiki. Baba Gloria.
Sema papa.
Niaje bwana?
Niko poa.
Bwana, naona group, umetustua group ni aje?
Hakuna mwenye nimestua, unaona? Hapo ni mwenye anataka kufurahia, mwenye anataka kufurahia atoe, lakini
Baba Gloria.
hiyo ni makosa iliingia hapo bwana wako kitu kakaruka huko.
Iko viti haina makosa hiyo.
Nakwambia hapo ni kitu kaliruka hapo kakaenda hapo. Kwa mimi mimi nikasikia wazee wakinipigia, kwani nini nimetuma kwa group. Baada kuangalia bwana nimetuma mtu akinyanyuliwa.
Usijali Baba Gloria, usijali.
Can you listen how those guys are lying to this gentleman here who badala ya watu kulia? Now how will people in a funeral react to that bana? Baba Gloria. That was not very fair of you, Baba Gloria. Thank you. I can see most of your comments coming in, and I'm being forced to talk about Manchester United. Manchester, what happened with Manchester United? I don't know.
Now, sports. Manchester United.
No, that's not what you do about a big team. And this is not how you treat a goat. How can you do this to Ronaldo? Surely. Really? No. We have refused. We as Manchester have refused. You see there's someone, the captain, trying to negotiate. Hey, they're saying that they need 2 balls on the pitch because Liverpool has run away with 1. Not fair. Not fair for a big team like Manchester United. We shall not allow. And I knew. Our very good producer here all the way from Kochi, India. Watu wa Arsenal sijui wanatoanga wapi nguvu by the way. I have never understood. Tuned in. Negaga. Baba Gloria should next time. I nayo alichoma by the way. You don't do that. You don't do that. Hey, Don, hiyo story yako tumeiruka. Alex Onsase, Baba Gloria. Best prof. Baba Gloria alichoma, by the way, alichoma mbaya sana. And thank you for staying tuned. Please subscribe to our channel and share also to your platforms and to your friends. The alternative voice, CJ Lasbon there is tuned into the show. Thank you very much for tuning in, CJ. Siasa tu, enjoying the show from Kwale County, JK. We have Alex Onsase. Oscar alisoma jamani, wanamlemea tu jua kwa UDA. Those things happen with people when they are on the right side, wrong side, whichever side of politics there is. Tuned in from Kochi, huyu naye leo amechanganyikiwa. Sijui mbona. Don, is there another Kochi in Kenya? Watching from Nairobi. Best star prof. Total Akisi is tuned in and watching. Thank you very much. We missed you for some time. Thanks for getting back. Kaberia Timothy is tuned in also from Kochi, India. And we are just about to get into that conversation I was telling you about. Some politicking, and our guys are still handling the technicalities behind the scenes, and we shall be getting into that discussion as soon as possible. If you also are feeling like joining us for some politicking, please pale kwa comment section tutakutumia link. You also join us for this, some politics, because the youth also need to do some politicking and determine their future, noting that they have the majority of votes. Evan Somondi is tuned in from Kisumu City. Sante sana bro. Watching from Nairobi, Baba Gloria. Baba Gloria by the way alichoma tena mbaya sana. How can you do that? How? So we are getting into that discussion just in a short while. And the guest we are having for the day, whom we are still setting up behind the stage, their political realignments. This is what we are talking about. Political realignment. We have Mudhora Kariara, presidential candidate, TGN party leader. We have Moses Tisa, who is an MP aspirant. And that discussion we are getting into just in a short while. And among the things that we are going to talk about is certificates and academics and politics, leadership. What do you think about leadership and academics? Is it necessary? Because just the other time we had an issue also with MCAs who are saying that they don't need, some of them are saying they don't need degrees because they had been told you must have a degree for you to be an MCA. They say they don't need that. there are some members of parliament who, it's being said, don't have the necessary papers to be in those offices. What do you think about leadership and academics? Do you think it would be really prudent for a member of parliament who is oversighting a budget of billions of shillings to go into parliament without any academic certificates, and noting that there are those parliamentary groups that deal with different things? So you have someone who doesn't have that level of knowledge that is required being put on a health committee, let's say that financial and appropriation committee. How will they be able to handle all those topics if they are not ready and they don't have the necessary papers for that? And we shall be getting into that discussion. We also have Fred Osiro who is watching. The discussion is actually very imperative at this moment. Sure, that is something that is timely, which we as the youth ought to talk about. Tuned from Nairobi, Kenya, that is Cleophas. Hey, just a simple question. Was Miguna right? Right about what? So let's get into this discussion right away. And joining me right now is Moses Tisa. Tisa, welcome to the show as we wait for Mudiora Carriera. And one thing that I will ask you, Tisa, tumekuwa na hii issue ya huyu Oscar Sudi. Do you think the issue of Oscar Sudi and his academic certificates is something that is timely to talk about in the politics arena, or is it just an issue of the side on which he is right now? Tisa.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. I hope you can hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you.
The issue of Oscar Sudi is not something that started yesterday. I started hearing about Oscar Sudi academic problem long time ago. And so I think some would say that, you see, because he has been very loud, he has been attacking the government, so the government has come in to deal with him. That can also be said because with politics, nothing happens out of mere coincidence. Everything is planned and well scripted. And so I want to look at it in two different ways. One, it is true Oscar Sudi did not the academic papers that he produced when he was running are not his.
Yes.
That is basically what we have been told. I read yesterday, he has got several names. You can call him Oscar Sudi Scholastica Diambu. You can call him, he has got so names, so so many names. So it tells you that those are not his document. And two, Oscar Sudi has been very mouth. And I want to give you an example of what happened in Nairobi with Mike Sonko.
Yes.
Mike Sonko also had so many issues that even when he was running, he had got so many cases. But you see, he was mouthy and very loud. And the moment you know you have a problem and you're mouthy and loud, the government will always find a way of freezing your balls. So what's happening to Oscar Sudi today is so simple. Yes. That yes, he has been having this problem. There are so many politicians in this country who are either corrupt or forged documents, but you will never see them being pursued because of only one reason: they are silent and they are working. So Oscar Sudi knows that he is suffering from academic. I would say that he has a deficit of academic knowledge.
Yes.
But here he is again making noise and making it look like he knows everything. So I see the hand of the government in this. The government would want to tell Oscar Sudi that, look, we know how to tame you. We have a lot of your secrets. At the same time, this issue started long time ago. Yes.
Yeah, and so the issue here is, if you know little and you know where your problems are, you better keep quiet.
Just work for the people. Don't attack the government because they will come for you. Just deliver.
Yes, let's get into the real issue here. We're having politics. So this is about politics now. But then we have leadership and then we have academics. Is it really that necessary for someone to have academic prowess for them to become leaders in whichever position there is, if it's MCAs, senators, or even MPs, or even up to the presidency? Is it really a necessary issue about academics right now in Kenya?
Thank you very much. I think this case was even taken to High Court, and the High Court ruled that it does not matter as long as people love you, and that is for MCAs. As long as people love you and people can listen to you and you can deliver, go there and deliver for the people. But let's now come back to the question that you have asked me.
Yeah.
My brother, what is the role of an MP? An MP is supposed to go to parliament and articulate the issues affecting his people, make laws, do oversight and whatnot. So you cannot tell me that if you are not learned, you will go to parliament and make laws. Remember, this country is governed by laws that are made in parliament. So that if we don't have good laws, then you should blame the MPs. But you see, one thing that I must also bring on board, or rather I must bring to your attention, is that average Kenyan voter believe that an MP has got several roles, and these are the roles that they believe that the MPs must perform. One, must always attend burials. 2, must attend weddings. 3, must ensure that they don't go hungry. That is, you go around and dish some money. 4, must pay school fee. 5, must ensure that if there is a quarrel between a husband and a wife, the MP must come in and solve the problem. That you find that the role of MP is not even known by a Kenyan voter. You get that? So yet they have said that, you see, Oscar Sudi has performed well and whatnot, but they are not telling us. You know, there was a survey, I think opinion poll, some opinion poll that placed Oscar Sudi the bottom based on his presentation and articulations and what he does in parliament. But if you come down on the ground, they say interact with the people, he helps the people when people are in need, and so that's why people think that is the best. Now you ask if it is necessary. It is necessary. For instance, for one to be a governor, you are not going to govern in your language, because you know this one here. You have to make policies, and you cannot make policies in your mother tongue. You'll have to meet investors. You will not speak to them in your mother tongue. It needs you to actually have the language of communication. At the same time, you must have that intellectual wherewithal to be able to help you govern the county. But now back to Oscar Sudi's issue. Oscar Sudi is not in court because he underperformed in Kapsaret. Neither is he in court because he is a class 1 dropout. He is in court because it is alleged that he forged some documents for forgery, which is against the constitution. That is what those who are supporting Tanga are not seeing. There is nobody who took Oscar Sudi to court because Oscar Sudi dropped out of school in class 1. Oscar Sudi is in court because it is alleged that he forged the documents. So yes, education is good. It will help you be able to represent your people well, and of course articulate issues as a pertain to the your area of jurisdiction.
Yeah, thank you for that response there, and we are receiving a lot of response from our audience as well. And what I'm getting from you is that most of the people, the electorates who are doing the voting, don't understand what their leaders are supposed to do for them. That's why they elect the wrong leaders, because they will go for someone who gives them handouts, someone who attends funerals and weddings, and someone who solves their marital issues, as you have stated there. They forget the real issues, that this is someone who's supposed to go to parliament and articulate the issues and problems that they are having. And we have responses here. Sally Seifu is saying that learned fellas make bad leaders because all they do is give abstract ideas that only fit an existing world, but it's good to have education at the end of the day. So she is agreeing education is good, but sometimes the educated can also mess up the leadership. And Fredo Zero is saying leadership is not gotten from degree qualifications. If we worked on implementing Chapter 6 of our wonderful Constitution, a lot of leadership gaps and problems we face in this country could be solved. Talking of the constitution, there have been so many issues with the implementation of the constitution to an extent that even the courts have dared the president that if he doesn't appoint the judges as he's supposed to do, they will do it themselves. So let me get you into another topic. We have had issues with political intolerance in the recent past, and one case example is what happened to the deputy president's motorcade. That is in was it in Busia? He was stoned in Busia, and we also have had an issue with the comments that were made by Junet Mohammed regarding to governance when he was speaking somewhere, was it in Kisii? So with us headed into 2022 and the issue of political intolerance, people are getting way ahead of themselves. Is it an issue of politicians, or we as voters and as Kenyan citizens also have an issue with it? Because most people say that these guys throw stones because they have been paid. So is it an issue that is entirely with the leadership, or is it an issue that is with the citizens as well?
Yeah, political intolerance has been part of our politics. And it's not the first time that they're doing it. What happened in Busia is not a good thing. What happened in Migori too is not a good thing. And of course, even what happened in Embu, where some youths pelted Baba's motorcade, is also not a good thing. Because then, at the end of the day, what do you need? You want to listen to all these politicians to be able to know what they stand for, and then we can make a determination on who to vote for when the right time comes. You ask me who to be blamed. To me, I think that I don't know of any Kenyan who would wake up in the morning and start looking for who to stone, unless there's a figure behind it. And I want to give you an example. Let me start with what happened in Migori. When Gigi was in Homa Bay, and when he was in Homa Bay, he was well received. I even remember some pastors praying for him and wishing him well. Nobody stoned him. Remember, that's where I come from. So nobody stoned him. Then when he went to Migori, some people stoned him. Then you ask, but why not in Homa Bay? And then you find, okay, fine, there's somebody was behind this. And then later on, it is said that the delegates disagreed among themselves and decided now to cause commotion. He went to Kisumu, good reception. Siaya, good reception. So you can see there's a clique of people or leaders who only thrive in chaos. That without chaos they cannot be relevant. That should be condemned. Then you go to Busia, and I'm happy with what the DPP, or rather the Minister of Interior, did. They swung into action and arrested the guys who are believed to be behind this. And I believe these guys would tell the country who sent them to do all these things. I really want to tell you that political intolerance, there are some politicians who will never find peace until there is chaos in the country, because that's when they can do their politics. But at the same time, we have youths who feel that when they don't want some politician A to speak, the only way to stop him from speaking is by heckling at him, booing him, or even stoning him. How I wish that Kenyans learn that if you don't want to listen to a politician, you better don't go there. Or if you go there, keep quiet, let him speak, and then go away. It is okay like that. You're talking about what happened, the issue with Junet Mohammed. I am number one supporter of change movement. And when I say change movement, I'm talking about Raila Odinga, and I'm talking about ODM. But I'm one person who has been having issues with Junet Mohammed ever since. Don't forget that some youths from ODM members today, any ODM supporter, Tanga calls them cows, a name that was given to us by Junet Mohammed. And we complain, why would this man go to parliament and instead of articulating issues affecting his people, turn around and call us cows? That one we talked about, it went that way. The issue with BBI, when there was a problem with BBI and Horengo and the Otiende, raised issues that could help Junet Mohammed was in the forefront telling them to leave the party. That is Junet Mohammed. Then now again, Junet goes to Kisii and speak the way he spoke. And I want to tell you, my brother, whatever Junet says any day, anywhere, is Junet's, not the position of ODM and not the position of Raila Amolo Odinga. When Raila wants to speak, he speaks for himself. He does not send Junet. When Raila wants to defend, or when Raila wants to articulate issues or his policy or what he will do when he takes power, he takes the microphone and speaks for himself. Junet is ever excited whenever he sees a microphone. And what we can do is to tell the count that Junet speaks for himself, not the party. And if you are keen, many of us have condemned Junet. If we really welcomed what Junet said, we would have kept quiet. But we have condemned him because whatever he's saying is not in the best interest of the party, the best interest of the position of Raila Amolo Odinga, and the best interest of this country. And before you cut me short, it is not only Junet. Cedric, I want to tell you that even in that other team, in 2019, we saw Cherargei saying very well that if they take power, they will deal with whoever stands in their way. That is said, and is still in court, Cherargei. We have a clip where the deputy president of the Republic of Kenya is saying that we have problems with the Kikuyus, but we have to lie low like envelope, take power and deal with them. That one is there, a clip which is out there. So what am I saying? Let politicians tame their mouth, tame their tongues, and articulate issues and talk to issues affecting the country. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I can see Mudiora Career has joined us here. We have a problem there with an echo, and we shall be joining him here soon. So, Tisa, before we move ahead, there is someone here who is putting you on the spot. He wants you to explain where you are standing this night. And this is Anami Brian, I guess you know him. He's saying, we all knew that Tisa was going for senator, but we will not be surprised to hear he is going for either MCA or ward administrator. Junet can even force him to go for chief position. Here in UDA, we support young, ambitious leaders like Tisa. We could have backed his senatorial ambitions fully. Meanwhile, I still wish him all the best as I pray that God Almighty opens his ears and eyes to realize that he's being used and misguided. And Anami is saying that ODM wanakuzungusha vibaya sana. So tonight, Tisa, where do you stand in your political ambitions? I think that's generally what Anami is trying to talk about.
No, Anami is a good friend of mine, by the way, Cedric.
Yes.
In Moi University, when I was running for the position of SecGen, that I ran first term and then I did not make it, and the second term I ran second time and I made it. I ran first time, Anami was running. Second time, Anami was running. I finished, Anami was still running. And he was only getting one vote. And here he is saying that ODM and Inandisongoza. Anami is a very funny character anyway, but let me answer him. I don't take order from Junet Mohammed, and I don't really expect Anami to think that whatever I say and I do because Junet has sent to me. 2, I am a political animal, and any political animal has a political ambition. 3, the constitution does not bar me from running for even the MCA that he is talking about, because then I would be going there to stand in for my people. But now back to the question of what I'm going to do and my political position. I'll be running for a political seat. And so when you guys say that I'm going for MP and you never consulted me, I said, okay, there's no problem. But at the end of the day, I'm going to make my position known. That is in the next 1 month. I'm going to make my position known, the seat I'm going to run for. That is 2022. But at the end of the day, I must run for a political seat back in Homa Bay County. And I will need all your support, the support of Anami, your support, and the support of anybody viewing. because we must really represent our people. We must bring the change that we need, because if we don't do, then nobody will do for us. As for ODM, I want to tell the guy that ODM is the best political party that I've ever known. ODM stands for something. It stands for change. It stands for transformation, and it stands for reform. And that one we know. The party which Anami is supporting today, UDA, stand for nothing, and he also knows that the party stands for nothing. So I welcome you when I'll be declaring, that is in the next 2 months, to come and witness that grand declaration.
Thank you very much for that detailed explanation. And I can see our friend party leader of TGN and presidential aspirant here, Modiora Carriera, is joining us. And this is now where we get into the conversation we were to have this night about political realignments. And I will be getting into this discussion in reference to this announcement here by Governor Anne Waiguru. He ditched Jubilee and joined UDA. Was it just a matter of time? The other time we saw her shaking hands with the ODM leader Raila Odinga. And Modiora, I want to ask you this question before we come really into the gist of it. Is there any value to our political parties and politicians in a way that there is that specific thing that they stand for? In other developed democracies, talk of the United States, you will hear of Democrats, and many other countries, there are parties to which people have subscribed to for their lifetime. Like, you won't see someone migrating from this side to the other side. So is there really value in our politics, our politicians, and our political parties, Modiora?
Well, if I can borrow Miguna's words, I will say our politicians attach zero value to parties. Parties are mere special purpose vehicles to get them into office, after which they ditch them the way you would ditch a used toilet paper. This is the unhygiene situation that we find ourselves in, and we must look to cure it. To Governor Anne Waiguru, the Jubilee Party didn't mean anything more than a ticket for her to get into office. That's why it's been easy for her to flip-flop on where she really stands. Yes, we saw her Waiguru yesterday, but I can guarantee you before the 9th of August 2022, she will Waiguru many more times. I'm disappointed that our politicians continue to use parties as mere vehicles to get them into office. That's not how it should be. And that's why we at the Great Nationhood Party of Kenya, which I believe very much in, want to change. A party should stand for something. For instance, for us, we are social democrats whose standing is underpinned by the Utu philosophy. So wherever we can't find that, you will not find us. We will look for people who think in that similar way like we do. So it's really disappointing that a leader of such high caliber can, while serving in office under one party, ditch it and express that they are now supporting another party or espousing the values of another party. Unfortunately, this was started by our president, His Excellency Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. His deputy president has gone out and done the same thing. So they both can't call each other out, because it would be like the kettle calling the pot black when they all are black. So for me, it's really disappointing. Parties should stand for something, so that when leaders make a position, it's informed by the values and principles of that party. Currently, the major parties in Kenya stands for zero.
0, 0, 0. They don't stand for anything at all. That is sentiments from Muthiora Kariara. And Tisa, let's get into the gist of things here. Anne Waiguru ditching Jubilee to join UDA. Is that the right card for her to make? I mean, there is Ngirishi who has been in UDA. Is there hope for Anne Waiguru to win the nominations of UDA and also win the gubernatorial race on a UDA ticket at this time?
Thank you very much. How are you, Muthiora Kariara?
I'm very fine. Incoming member of parliament for what constituency is that?
I will run on your party.
Well, you're very much welcome. We are a party that comprises of young people, and would like for you to bring your energy, passion, enthusiasm, and that very high level of patriotism that I've seen you exude. So karibu TGN, hapa ndo nyumbani kwa mabingwa wa Kenya. Wazalendo, hapa kujeni.
You call it TGN.
Yes, the Great Nation.
You must go out there and sell this party, man. I don't know that this party, but after this show, please let us talk about this party. We must discuss this party today.
Pause.
I won't allow you.
Tisa, just pause. Let me tell you something. I joined you late because I was cycling from Nairobi's Central Business District, where we've been carrying out a drive to recruit new members. This is something we've been doing. So if you've not heard about us, or if you've not seen us, it's because you're looking in the wrong place. If you're looking for people who are progressive and want to take this nation forward, you definitely will have connected with us. So Tisa, fungua macho, acha kudanganywa na hivyo vyao vigogo ambao wanatutawala kwa kutugawanya kwa misingi ya kikabila na upuzi mwingine. Karibu TGN.
I agree.
Let's address the elephant in the room.
But don't forget, Karira, I respect you a lot. You are a brilliant, you're a very eloquent young man who stands for something. Thank you. Now, Waiguru ran away from Jubilee and joined the UDA, claiming that she listened to the ground, that the people told her to actually go to UDA because that is where their interests are. Essentially, she's telling you she's no longer a leader. When you're a leader, you lead. But this one that you listen to the people and then you follow people, you're no longer a leader. That is actually what I have observed. Two, Purity Ngirishi, if you ask me, has worked for UDA and has invested a lot in that UDA in terms of popularizing the party, in terms of defending the party. But of course, parties are built with money, maybe, again, in terms of investing financials and whatnot. To the extent that if we have to go for a nomination today and the party feels that they want to give somebody who is loyal, because loyalty is a key, then automatically they'll give it to Ngirishi. Don't forget that we live in a country where transparency and accountability in nomination are lacking, to the extent that you'll find that maybe they will choose who is more popular on the ground, and then they'll end up giving it to Ngirishi. Having said that, let us not also pretend and close our eyes that Waiguru lost touch with the people of Kirinyaga a long time ago. Remember when she was to be impeached and she was saved by the Senate, the people of Kirinyaga made noise and said, why are you bringing back this thief to us? Which means they long lost the appetite of actually calling her a leader. To the extent that even if she goes back to Kirinyaga with whichever political party, she'll still lose. But look at it this way. In an event that Waiguru and Girishi faces nomination. And don't forget the Karua factor here. In an event that Girishi and Waiguru goes for a nomination today in Kirinyaga, then Waiguru is defeated. What do you think Waiguru will do? Waiguru will start castigating Ruto. Waiguru will start calling UDA a name. Waiguru will start regretting, and Waiguru will eventually go back to where she came from. Lastly, Waiguru has been ditching for the last, I think Waiguru is a ditcher. Don't forget, Waiguru of course, joined Raila, where she pledged allegiance and promised to work with her. Again, you saw Waiguru running from Raila again, going to work with Ruto. At first, people thought that Waiguru would be the running mate of Ruto, because when they started, people thought that Waiguru would work with Ruto and end up becoming his running mate. Today, in Kenyan politics, you cannot go with Waiguru to an election and win. That Waiguru is now your running mate. You will lose. Why? Because anybody who sees Waiguru today is seeing a corrupt leader, somebody who is so corrupt. But remember, even that in that UDA, we say we have some question to ask the deputy president in regards to corruption. Then you bring Waiguru on board. Then you look at that pair. Then you see a looted country. So I cannot tell you. I can't promise you that it is a ticket which will sell. It won't sell. So Waiguru's goose is cooked.
Waiguru's goose is cooked. And so what really, actually, the deputy president received Waiguru, meaning that he knows Waiguru is coming with a good share of Mount Kenya. Do you think Waiguru as a person has a voice that would add more votes to the basket of the deputy president, which he is coming with?
Where do you get voice from when you are saying that you are listening to the people? You only have voice when you can be able to give direction as a leader. But as long as you are waiting to be given direction by the very people who expect you to give them direction, you are not a leader. So there's no voice. Then two, Ruto received the woman, the lady, warmly for obvious reason, to quell the rebellion in Kirinyaga, to be able to have Kirinyaga in his basket. Now, if you go to Kirinyaga, because Waiguru has been opposing Ruto, now Waiguru is in his pocket. Girishi is in his pocket. Tell me who is remaining in Kirinyaga to give Ruto problem? Martha Karua? Unless Martha Karua comes and rebrands herself and says, I'm now running for governorship and this is what I want to do. But as we speak, Martha Karua has not rebranded herself. So by accepting, or rather by having Waiguru on board, it's so simple to be able to have a Kirinyaga that listens to Ruto whenever Ruto speaks.
Yes, and talking of political realignments, let's talk about the group of One Kenya Alliance. They have just announced that they will be having a meeting. Is it tomorrow, or I think so? Yeah, and there have been rumors also that there are some of them who are in One Kenya Alliance during the day, and during the night, some head to speak to the ODM leader, some head to speak to the deputy president. Speaking of alignment, what do you think of One Kenya Alliance? Is it this third force that would force this 2022 election into a runoff, or are they just blowing hot and cold air?
One Kenya Alliance guys should just be bloggers. Because I have a reason why I'm saying this.
Yes.
2022 general election has been framed. It is between two people, Raila Odinga and William Ruto. Anybody who cares to know will tell that those are the guys who are serious. The One Kenya Alliance guys have been trying have been trying very much to actually raise their political bar so that they can be able to jump into the political mortgage market and have a high stake. That is actually what they've been trying to do. Because if you listen to them speak, Kalonzo insists that he has to run. This is his time. Mudavadi wants to run. This is his time. Gideon the other day declared his candidature that is running. This is his time. And they are in the same one Kenya line. If these guys were serious, these guys would have decided to actually produce one candidate today, now, and then they argue, or rather they come to the negotiation table with their candidate. But you cannot tell me that Kalonzo going for president, Mudavadi for president, and Gideon for president, and then they come, all of them, and then they negotiate with either Ruto or Raila Odinga. This is a big joke, a joke taken too far. Two, you are talking about them meeting tomorrow. This is not the first time they've been meeting. These guys have been meeting. In fact, if there's anything they're good at, is meeting. They have been meeting and meeting and meeting, and we don't know what they're meeting for. The other day, Gideon declared his candidature. Who was invited? Raila Odinga was there, and looking at it is like it was the guest of honor who spoke, and somebody would say it was being endorsed. So you can see these guys are not agreed on what they want and how they want to go about these things. I want to tell you, Zedric, and this is the thing. Kenyan voter does not have time for lazy politician. If you are lazy and you start for nothing, and you are clueless and you're not aggressive, Kenyan voter will not listen to you. That is why if you listen to Kenyan voter today, the conversation is about Raila Odinga and William Ruto. Even Gideon Moi, who declared that he's running for president, is not discussed anywhere.
Yes.
By the way, we only discussed Gideon the other day because he was celebrating his birthday, but not because he declared that he wants to run. The same way we are here to discuss Mudavadi tomorrow because he appeared on TV and talked about economy, but not because he wants to run. We discussed Kalonzo Musyoka because he lost in his backyard when he lost an MCA seat, but not because he wants to run. They have lost the clout that can be able to endear them to the people. So the best they can do as we speak today is to actually decide to either back Raila Odinga or back William Samoei Ruto. At least they'll have what to tell the people. Lastly, in 2013, Mudavadi ran for election, and we know the number of votes he got. In 2013, when he ran for election. In 2007, Kalonzo Musyoka ran for election. We know the number of votes he got. So if they are thinking of maybe Kalonzo running and Mudavadi running, and then they want to do what they did in 2013 and 2017, we are talking about a new year, a new election year of 2022, where it is the race has been shaped between two people. You either join Ruto or join Raila Odinga or quit politics.
Yes, thank you very much for those sentiments. And our time is very much going. And I'll just ask you, Mudhiora, one question before we come and wind up and see. I see a few questions that people have sent there for Tisa. Yesterday, I was watching the interview on KTN News on which Miguna was, and Miguna said that the 2022 election has already been won. And with this, I think he was making a reference to the deep state. Do you think that there is transparency in the election that we are going to hold come next year?
Well, where we are at is we have no choice. Kenya is a democratic country, which means we will go through elections for us to have a change of regime. Yes, it's unfortunate that the system is already rigged. Unfortunately, the people who were leading the battle to level the field joined those who were breaking the rules in 2017 and before. So electoral justice in Kenya to date still remains a mirage. we are going into an election if we don't change things where the field is like this. We are playing uphill against the establishment candidates. The referee plays for the other side. The rules are made by the other side. So clearly, for anyone to pull a surprise win, now that we know that the system will do everything to ensure that their candidate wins, well, it so much looks like you'll have to be very lucky. But then, even in a game of chance, sometimes people win lotteries. What we at TGN are doing is educating the people so they can know what their political rights are, so that they can take up their civic duties and responsibilities seriously. That way, even if the system tries to cheat, they'll be caught in the process. And Kenya has set a very good precedent where in 2017, the Supreme Court nullified the IEBC results with regard to the presidential vote. So if again they try to do their monkey business, they'll be called to account. So what I can say is we'll push for electoral justice for the forthcoming general election. Let Kenyans be vigilant. Let us know that this is our fight, and let us stand up for what is true. Let's have free, fair, and credible elections. Let's demand that. At least that's the least we can have. If at all we can even talk about ending corruption in this Kenya, because that's where the first fraud happens, and corrupt leaders get into office and they loot even further. That's what I have to say with regard to the forthcoming elections, and we'll definitely be in there. I've had a mention about only 2 horses in the race. The only reason I will say William Ruto is ahead is because he started to campaign right after the 2017 election. He's been campaigning for 4 years. Raila Odinga has run for 4 elections before. That's why he's ahead. Give us the benefit of the doubt. We will turn this country upside down. We will go to every corner. And believe me, we have the energy, we have the resolve, we have the passion. And people will believe in what ideology we are selling. They will come on board and we will truly transform this nation. That's what I have to say, Cedric.
Thank you very much. And we give you the benefit, hoping that you will convince Kenyans
let me say something.
I'm just giving you a response there because of time. I can see our time has moved. I want you to give your responses as you respond as well to this question here. Ask Chisa any new tactic which is planning to use in his political journey. Ask him why young, ambitious politicians like him are still hanging on Raila's court instead of bringing a new political reform. As you answer that, Muthiora Karriara has said that those who are fighting for IEBC to be changed have also joined the other side, which was allegedly looting, let me say that. So what is your response to that? Basing that by those he refers to ODM party.
Thank you very much. Karriara has spoken well, and he's saying that he wants to move to every corner of this county to tell the country or the people what they stand for. And we are remaining with very few months to election, and this political party that he's talking about was formed donkey years ago. So my question would be, which corner are you talking about now? Then 2, you guys are saying that ODM crossed over and is dining with the people. And we know the role that ODM did prior to 2017 when we are calling for electoral justice and electoral reform. But Karriara, the people who now, maybe you are the only person maybe who is seeing it the way it will be seen. The people who are now complaining and saying that this election is going to be rigged are the very people who were happy and clapping when we were talking, when Raila Odinga and the co were being tear gas when they're fighting for electoral reforms. And so I think what we should do and what I want us to do is to allow IBC to do its work. And I will tell you why I'm saying this. If you are saying that election is going to be, because I listened to UDA members saying that election is going to be rigged, then I wonder, who is this that is going to win election and is results or is election is going to be rigged? Who is this person? Because the argument you are trying to bring out there is that Raila Odinga is going to lose election, Ruto is going to win, and this election is going to be rigged. In essentially, you are saying that Ruto has got votes and is popular, and Raila is not popular, and therefore he is not going to win election. Let us be factual. We all know that in a free and fair election, which we have been fighting for the longest time, Raila Odinga cannot be defeated. That is a fact that we all know. In a free and fair election, Raila Odinga cannot be defeated. That we all know. And Karriera, you should not even talk about this because you know that when you guys ran for election last time, where you are the running mate of my brother whose name I've forgotten because of I don't know why. You know very well that even by then it was a two-horse race. Karara, you know that. It was Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Amolo Odinga. The same thing, it's a replica of 2017. It's a two-horse race between Raila Odinga and William Ruto. And I can confirm to you that Raila Odinga is ahead of William Ruto in terms of popularity. What is happening that we should know is that let us not talk about rigging election. Nobody is talking about rigging election. ODM stands for fairness, for transparency and accountability. And I don't think ODM can sit on a table where rigging is being planned. That is not there. That is actually not there. Very last, a question was asked here. I want to answer my friend by telling him that I am in ODM. That is my political party. I am in ODM. That is my political party. That is why in ODM we have got youth wing. And youth wing, what we do in youth wing in ODM is to be able to sensitize the youth and tell them why ODM is the best political party by telling them what ODM stands for. ODM stands for democracy. ODM stands for accountability. ODM stands for reform. When you mention ODM, you know that ODM stands for change in this country. You cannot, even the political party that Karara is talking about, he has not even told me what it stands for. I don't know what UDA stands for, but ODM stands for that. ODM gives youth platform. Today in parliament, we have got youthful MPs who are elected on ODM ticket. MCAs, we have got so many of them elected on ODM ticket. If you go to ODM political party, the structure, their youth are there who represent the interest of the party. So ODM has opened the doors for youth. So whoever sees ODM as a party that is being run by old people is misguided and should open his eyes and see ODM as a party that has opened doors for youth. So when the right time comes, we will run, we will win, and we will really deliver because we believe that ODM gives the platform for youth to deliver.
Thank you very much there. And at this point, Karriera, you are right of reply to Tisa will also merge with your parting shot because we are closing because of time.
Well,
even internet knows that the guy does not have a party.
Moliora, we lost you for some minutes there. As you get back, I don't know if there is any other
internet fears propaganda.
Holding a huge congregation in a political rally does not guarantee you a win because those people come with different intentions. That political rally, that's also another thing that I wanted us to talk about. So as you match that also with your final take, Tisa, there has been a talk of crowds, the crowd that Raila had in Eldoret, the crowd that received the deputy president in Kisumu. There was also a big crowd by the leader of KANU in Kericho sometime. Mudavadi has also managed to pull some crowds in central Kenya on his rallies. Do these crowds really lead to actual votes in the ballot? As your final take, Tisa?
No, Cedric. Crowd does not translate to votes. No, crowd does not translate to votes, Cedric. What happens, and you've mentioned what happened in Eldoret. You know,
yes,
our happiness is that at least when Raila Odinga went to Eldoret, there was political tolerance, and people listened to him and walked away. That is actually what democracy is all about. When Ruto went to Kisumu, rather when he went to Migori, people went there in their numbers, listened to him, and walked away. People were not voting that day. And people were not voting in Eldoret. They only went to listen to Raila Odinga, and they only went to listen to William Ruto, so that when the right time comes, they would decide on who they vote for based on who they listen to, who had the agenda and the issues, and could solve their issues. In Uganda, during the last election in Uganda, you saw our crowd. Of course, you know what happened in Uganda, but you could also see the crowd that could attend Bobby Wine's rally. Leave alone that, prior to, in the run-up to 2017 election, Raila Odinga was pulling crowd that Uhuru Kenyatta could not pull with Ruto. But what happened? So sometimes I want to tell you, of course, we know what happened in 2017, but then crowd does not necessarily translate to vote. Anybody can step out there. A crowd will go listen to the person, and that one does not mean that crowd translates to vote. The reason as to why crowd will come to where a politician is because they believe this guy has something for them. This guy has come to give them the message of hope because people are suffering. This guy has come to address their problems because people want to see their problems solved. This guy has come to promise them that if maybe he gets to power, he'll do things differently because the successive regimes have always lied. But then they don't go back and say, now we are going to vote for the person whom we went to listen to.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much for those sentiments, and it has been great having you on the show as
My
well
parting
as
shot,
although
I didn't.
We have lost him on the connection there. You still want to give your final take?
Only 30 seconds.
Yeah, go ahead.
I want to cajole and urge my fellow youths that let us get out there, let us go out there and register as voters. There is no way we are going to vote Raila Odinga or vote William Ruto or vote any other politician that you want to lead this country if you don't have that voting card. So we need to make our mind, or rather we need to make our voice heard at the ballot when we have that voting card. Otherwise, if we don't have that voting card, the people that you say have been determining who becomes the president will continue doing that. Then lastly, young men and women who are aspiring to run for political seats, don't be intimidated by the bourgeoisies, the rich men around there. Let us go outside there, talk to the electorate, try our luck. If we win, we win. If we lose, we lose. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Tisa. It's always amazing to have you on the show, and we hope to do this some other time as well.
Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in to this show. Trends KE every Thursday is always an amazing discussion to have and watch the trending topics of the week. So we do this again next week, Thursday. Thanks for always being our listener, our viewer. Make a point to share our platforms and our discussions so that you can tell your friends who will also tell their friends to watch Trends KE. Follow our platforms because we also give you breaking news every time it happens, and also the daily trends, we also post them on our platforms before we compile them on our Thursday Trends KE show. So follow the Alternative Voice, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and on YouTube to get our content and news as well. Thank you. It has been amazing having you on this discussion tonight. My name is KCSE. See you next week, Thursday, same time, same place.
It's Trends O'Clock. This is